Oh man, we're on Survivor. Jeff is literally standing there telling me about the challenge, and I can't wait to see the tribal immunity. I bet it's something cool like a dragon or a phoenix or even a serpent. What on earth is that? Hello everyone, a bandit here, and I'll be ranking all 42 tribal immunities over the course of Survivor and giving my opinions on them. Just a reminder, because this is the internet, this is my opinion. You can like something, I don't. I also apologise if I don't recognise what a certain tribal immunity may be referencing. Again, I'm only one person just deciding to have some fun with this week's upload. So, if a certain face is a reference to a 13th century ancient Cambodian literature, don't blame me for not knowing. I'm also stupid, so hopefully one of those two excuses work for you. This video will be divided into two parts. The first one, this one, hi, will cover numbers 42 to 21, and in a fortnight, part 2 will cover the rest. Nonetheless, let's get started. At number 42... immunity. I mean, what is this thing? Jolanda, put your thumbs down. GMs, stop raising your fist in the air. It's not like your tribe wins anyway. Sorry, that was a bit harsh. But I really don't like this tribal immunity. In comparison to the other 41 tribal immunities, it looks rushed with little to no detail. The face looks like the sleep paralysis man, so that's unnerving. Overall, just a carving of a little legless man with elongated arms. It's a no for me. Micronesia's tribal immunity is next, and although more detailed, the face is bland, it has a coin slot for a mouth, I don't like the eyes, and the stomach lining is setting off my trypophobia personally. I think that speaks volumes to just how bad the Palua tribal immunity was, that something which is causing me to mentally hurt myself still ranks higher. Emotional, damn it! Rounding out the 40s, we have the Amazons. Abomination. Now, there's a few words to describe this thing, like terrifying and possessed, but I think this scene sums it up best.
Get that item going. Put them out there somewhere, bro. I'm serious. I'm not touching it.
She didn't want it in the camp at all. She doesn't want to touch it. She doesn't want to hold it. She wants nothing to do with it.
And I'm there with you, Joanna. I'm pretty sure even touching this thing reduces your life expectancy by about 7 years. I like the Amazon themed necklace, but at the end of the day, for me, it looks like it could be the 5th animatronic in Five Nights at Freddy's. Kicking off the 30s, we have South Pacific. This thing does have a prevalent tiki theme, which I like, but others do it far more effectively. In appearance, stature, and colour, it's just rather dull. The tiki also has no arms or legs, resulting in this half totem pole, half tribe idol design. It looks like they went through the same amount of effort making this as they did with Sophie's storyline. I already used it for the intro, but at 38 we have the Worlds Apart tribal immunity, a very confusing item like, why is there a rusted egg cup for its hat? Why does it have so many different random materials? And why does the face look like a piece of Crave cereal? I have so many questions, Jeff, and need the answers. Really, this monster would have been lower if it wasn't for the fact that the bottom piece, given to the second place finishers, is honestly pretty cool. The Australian Outback is next, with what I can only describe as a kindergarten art project. Overall, it's not super insulting, just a weird looking tribal dude with a strange semicircle for a mouth, but with cool details in the dots and hair. I also like how Jeff holds it like a massive mug of beer. 37 for me. At 36 we have Gabon, and oh my goodness, this thing is straight up Smeagol. I do like the pose as well as the bangles around the wrists. That's a nice attention to detail. Close-ups of it lower my ranking of it even more, as the eyes are these weird disco ball things, and I'm personally not a massive fan of the clumps of wood sticking out from its head, but overall, not bad for my precious. Number 35 has One World's tribal immunity. Once again, another tiki-esque design with a really nice glossy look on the wooden structure. Apart from that, I don't like it. It looks like if a reptile and a human mated. The combination of eyes, massive feet, weird pose, and a massive tongue down to its neck are just no's for me. Yeah, it's just weird. The fact it's sticking its tongue out is pretty funny though, as I can imagine the designers of the sculpture designing it with the intention of saying, "You thought we were going to make you a good season after we screwed up the last three. Borneo is up next, and while the tribal immunity is definitely iconic, man, this thing is straight up nightmare fuel. It does have this cool tribal theme, but overall looks like it's made out of paper mache. It's also giant. Poor Greg nearly loses an eye when he's made to touch it. This isn't a bad tribal immunity per se, but there are better ones still to come. Continuing the train of old seasons, at 33 we have Africa. Slightly less creepy to me, but still freakish. It's just two smiling tikis on top of each other's heads, which is cool, but also the tribal immunity is massive. In fact, it's the biggest one of the series, I think. It looks like Lex's entire body is having the soul sucked out of it in one scene, thanks to the idol. But the fact it's an inconvenience to hold, mixed with the dull colours, lands it right here. Carmoan's tribal immunity is up next. Personally, I don't like the look of it, as the colours are bland, and the eyes being nothing but carved circles harms the overall details. The pose as well is giving me major PTSD from whenever I have an Indian. Another tiki is up in the form of Millenials versus Generation X's tribal immunity, which does have some nice colour variation, but at the end of the day, it's just a tiki head. There are very few details outside of the top head, which admittedly is really cool. Again, better tiki designs exist in my opinion. Finishing up with the 30s, we have Vanuatu, and what is this? Can anyone actually explain to me what is this in a concise sentence? Because for me, I had down odd arrow, human, pigeon, hybrid figure going through a walrus jaw. That being said, I do love the Vanuatu theme, as well as the colours. They are really beautiful in this piece, and the fact it's a staff gets extra points for me. As you'll soon realise in this video, I love tribal immunities that look like weapons or staffs.
This is what you want in this game. If you have immunity, you are safe. You cannot be voted out. Without it, you are vulnerable.
The addition of the bells as Jeff picks up the staff also adds to the item well, in my opinion. For being so hot and cold on this item, I think 30 suits. Tocantins takes up the 29th spot on this list with its figurine. I do love the Tocantins tribe theme that plays into the paint on the face, and the fact there are so many different colours on it sets it apart from all these dull tribal immunities that are just one very dominant colour. It also reminds me a lot of the little Russian dolls you get. Perhaps it's just me. I have issues with the eyes. Again, the fact they're black squares with red around them is rather unnerving, and the fact it's so small again makes me want to refer to it more as a figurine rather than tribal immunity. A surprising tribal immunity considering the other three were lower, but at number 28 I have Marquesas. I like this tribal immunity quite a bit, although the cast seem to like it even more. We have Peter Harkey with his tongue stuck out, probably imagining what he could do with all those holes.
There is a man in there. Look for him. He's there. Just going.
And Zoe, being Zoe. I really love this glossy look of the woods, and the detail down the back is quite nice. The face could use more detail, however, and gives me major Kecleon vibes. I mean, just look at them together. Again, it just needs some more details on the front, and maybe some more diverse colours to really sell this for me. Heroes vs Villains design is similar to Marquesas, but better in my opinion. This tiki has a lot of personality, which is a major plus in its favour. This little guy looks so devious with his massive inhuman smile and seemingly rubbing his hands. I like to imagine this is how the casting directors acted behind the scenes when putting Candace on the Heroes tribe. You know, that woman that literally betrayed her entire tribe?
You want the truth? You want the truth? You want the fucking truth? There is no fridge! I lied!
The hair braids are also a nice touch and have a lot of detail. That being said, if you're touching it, like Jeff, you're probably going to end up with 3 splinters down your finger because the parts look so sharp. While we're on the tiki train, we might as well take a quick stop off at Survivor 41. Only a quick stop though, I mean, did you watch the season? I don't want to be here any longer than necessary. Once again, we have a monocolored tiki inspired design, but I do like the extra detail in the mouths that come in the form of missing teeth. Much like the first, bigger tiki, the second one is also rocking the JT Tocantins smile, and they make for a good pair. KSI would be proud of the smaller one for wearing a bandana. Again, it's another monocolored piece of wood. It could have had a lot more detail added to the face, and that would have really sold it for me. Cook Islands is at number 25 with its tribal immunity, and I have a personal bias for this one because I think it looks so cute. I find it hilarious after the challenge. Jeff just starts pulling it apart like it's a Kit Kat bar.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Give me a break. Give me a break. Break me off a piece of that Kit Kat bar. Give me a...
But it does look like a bit of a weird lizard, leaving it here for me. David vs. Goliath has another tiki design, but I like the crushed from all sides look, and the necklace is really well detailed. The silver goes well with the creamy wood colour, and can I just say, it's great we're seeing a tribal immunity that isn't brown or dark brown. There's good detail on the hands, and even though the eyes are weird, I'd rather have that than the eyes with no detail that we've had on previous tiki designs. Perhaps the most disappointing thing for me is that production could have made a tribal immunity with a David vs. Goliath theme and chose not to. Philliphines is up next with its 2 birds. Honestly, the biggest selling point for me is the fish hanging from the beak. I think that's a really great design touch, and the gold juxtaposes the wood well. That being said, I would have liked a better contrast in size between the first and second place, as they both look the same, and also the birds have these random bits sticking out of them, which I'm not a massive fan of. At 22 we have Thailand, and despite being creepy, it's honestly a great design. I love how, per usual, everyone is happy during the reveal, and Brian.exe is stone-faced. Even the colour is cool, as the gold and green really works well, especially since this shade of green is very reminiscent of old buildings damaged by acid rain. It really sells the ancient historical vibe. I like the Thai inspiration a lot, and a spike on the head offers a makeshift self-defense tool for Gandia when Ted comes along. Blood vs. Water has a cool tribal immunity in the form of a figurine bearing a gift. The mouth is creepy, and I don't entirely know how it relates to the Blood vs. Water theme, but man, it looks cool. It gives me major 3 Wise Men vibes, and perhaps they're gifting the Survivor contestants gold, myrrh, frankincense, and a dislocated shoulder for Tyson. How nice.